Carolyn Dube here. What's the play for today? Well, today I'm playing around in my art journal, doing some scribbling and some painting and some playing. But by the end, I don't know if I'm finished or not. And guess what? I don't have to know because this is play. One of the things that I do for me is say I don't have to be finished in one sitting. I don't have to know exactly what's going to happen next. At the end of the video, you'll hear me say that I'm on the fence 50-50. Am I finished with this art journal page or am I not finished with it? And you know what? I don't think I'm finished with it. But my muse hasn't told me where I should go next with it. So I would love to know from you what you think I should do to it next, and you can spark my muse, and of course I'll be sharing whatever I add to it here on YouTube and also on the blog. So I'm starting this art journal page with a whole bunch of scribbling with colored pencils. Now as I'm writing, I'm actually thinking about what I'm writing, I'm capturing feelings and really what's on my mind, but I don't care if I can ever go back and read it. It's almost like morning pages from The Artist's Way. I just need to get something out. I don't need to worry about punctuation, grammar, and clearly even letter formation. I just want to move it out and I don't ever need to go back and read it again. So I'm going to use that scribbling to go with a stencil and mask set that I designed for Stencil Girl products called The Dance of This Life. And so I've got all those different people that I can use. They all come with this one. And I think I am going to pick, which one do I really want to pick the most? Do I want the running, leaping person? And the cool thing about playing around with masks is you can kind of test stuff out. You can audition it and see if it's what you like, if it fits the space that you're using, if you like the look of it. And this is the dancer that I think is going to win for this art journal page today. So I'm going to kind of move her around and see where I want to put her. So once I've decided where I want to put her, the next thing is to bring in some adhesive. Now this adhesive is a repositionable tape. That way basically I can pull it off when I'm done without ripping or tearing any of the paper. And it's a single-sided adhesive, so I'm going to turn it into double-sided by making one of those cute little tape circles that we've all made. Just fold the tape on itself, stick her right there on her back, and then pop her down in place, and she will stay right where you put her well enough for what I'm doing. Because basically, I just need almost like that third hand to kind of hold her in place so she doesn't wiggle while I'm applying the paint. So where I'm going to put her on the page, there isn't quite as much color and scribbling under her as I wanted. So what am I going to do? I'm just going to lift her back up and I'm going to add some more color and scribbling. Great opportunity here for me to get some more thoughts onto this page, a little more color moved around, and I can kind of check and see if there's enough by putting her back on top. When I think I've got it just the way I want it, then I can just stick her right back down and I'm ready to grab the paint. So the mask is there and it's going to protect all of the colored pencil underneath. And then I'm going to take white heavy body paint and just put it all around the outside of her, basically covering up most of that scribbling. So once I've got around her with the paint on it and I want to pull her up, if she seems kind of stuck, if I just bend the page, her little toe would pop up and then I can pull her off by her toe. So I'm going to keep putting that white paint on the rest of it. I pulled off the mask because I'm not going anywhere near her. And I have to say that kind of the scribble writing, the colored pencil is coming through a little bit more than what I expected. So I am actually going to put the mask right back on top of where she was, position her back on there, and then I can come in and add a little bit more paint. So not a big deal if I want to add more later, thanks to the mask. I'm going to let the paint dry completely, and then I'm going to come in and with some acrylic paint, just stencil in with a cosmetic sponge the title for this page, just taking it right off that same stencil that the mask came from, and now we'll have a nice bright hot pink title for it. So why did I pick to write about my feelings and to use a stencil for this art journal page? Well, the reason is that was the prompt for this week for Journal About Me with that T.R. Smith has put together. Wonderful prompts every week throughout the year. So head on over to our website and take a look at it. It's down below in the video description and also on the blog. I'll have links over to her website. Well, right now she's just kind of floating in the air and I want her to be on the ground. So I am just going to draw in some land for her. Nice little hilly area with that cosmetic sponge that I used to do the title. But as I look at her, I want a little more definition to her. So I'm going to bring back that mask. I'm going to put it right back on top of her, just hold it in place, and then I'm going to trace around her with a Stabilo pencil. Now, Stabilo pencil, if you're not familiar with it, is awesome because it reacts to water. So as soon as water hits it, it gets much darker and it flows. So it's very much like a very powerful watercolor pencil. But I don't want super powerful here. I really just want a little bit of shading, just a little bit of definition. So I'm taking a brush and water. I'm using a small flat brush so that I can just stay right up along the edge. This is extremely forgiving, and a great way if you want to add a little shadow to something is just to run that Stabilo pencil around. And I'll just keep fiddling with it till I'm happy with how it looks. Well, now I fiddled with her, I want to fiddle with the title up there. It looks so prim and proper stenciled, and this doesn't feel like a prim and proper kind of page to me. So I'm going to trace over the stenciling with one of the colored pencils, really just trying to go for that scribbly look to get that going in there so that it matches her. The words, I want them to kind of flow with her, so definitely want some of that scribble stuff going on. I'm going to bring in different colors and layers of that colored pencil, just scribbling and scratching over it, and I am not going to stay within the lines. I'm all good with it if my colored pencil goes off of the letters and onto that white paint. So what's going through my head right now is, wow, look at all that white space. And I know it's technically not perfectly white, but boy, it sure does feel awfully close to a big old area of white space. And my natural urge is to fill that in. But I'm going to fight that urge, and I'm just going to put little words in there. So I'm using a whole bunch of rubber stamps to just put a few of the words that to me are the emotions that are all a part of life. And really that's why I kind of call this the dance of this life page, because some of them are wonderful and warm and fuzzy like grace, and some of them, well, they're sometimes a little bit harder to embrace like fear. But you've got feelings like joy, but there are also feelings like anger. So all sorts of feelings that go into this. And for me, all of those feelings are what make up everything that turns out to be the dance of this life. But I'm kind of having this issue right now. It's kind of this dance of this life going in my head. Is this art journal page finished? Is it not finished? Is it finished? Is it not finished? And I really keep flip-flopping back and forth between whether or not it's finished. And I don't know if it's all the white space that's making me feel like I gotta cover it up, I gotta cover it up. Can't decide. When that happens to me, if I'm not sure if something's finished or not, a lot of times what I'll do is just set it aside and come back to it later. So I'm curious from you, do you think this page is finished, or do you think that it needs more? Because you know what? I'm really sitting on that fence and I can get tipped either way. Now, if I decide to leave as it is, then this is finished. But if I decide to add more to it, which, and again, 50-50 at this point, I will definitely be sharing it in an upcoming video. Now, if you'd like to make sure that you see that video, hit that subscribe button so that you'll know as soon as I have a new video out. And if you're subscribed to my newsletter, you'll also know as soon as I add more to this page, should I decide to add more to it. I think I might be leaning towards adding more to it now. Well, we'll just have to see. Time will tell after I step away from this which way I'm going to go. But anyway, if you want to know what happens to it, get signed up for that newsletter. And if you'd like some more play right now, I've also got a free workshop called Permission to Play waiting for you over on the blog at acolorfuljourney.com. And of course, if you've been enjoying this video, give it that thumbs up. And if you know of somebody that you think would like a little more play in their day, I'd really appreciate it if you shared this video with them. Thanks so much for letting me be a part of your colorful journey.